mind, guys, do you ever like go to a store, like even if it's like Zara or something, and you start like looking at something, and then someone from behind you will like start like looking at what you're looking at, and then then you start like having a crowd around you. They're like, what is she looking at? These brands become like a drug for us. Like we can't give it up. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Jess. Thanks for clicking on my video today. Today I wanted to talk about having a toxic relationship with luxury shopping, and I would love to know your thoughts about this topic as well. I was really inspired to make this video after I made a few videos about the Hermes lawsuit, and fellow viewers told me that they didn't like how Hermes linked sales, supposedly. You know, we all have heard people sharing their stories about going on a journey to buy handbags, but at the same time people still do it. And it's really interesting that although we feel like we're being mistreated in a way or even taken advantage of, we continue to shop at Hermes. Well, not everybody, but many people do. I mean, to the point where there are two people in California who are suing Hermes and demanding that they should have been offered a Birkin after spending tens of thousands of dollars. And yet you'd think that when being treated this poorly, you'd almost be put off the brand entirely and not even want to buy the Birkin anymore. I mean, one of you guys mentioned how Oprah Winfrey was treated in an Hermes boutique a few years ago, and that because they didn't give her good customer service, she completely didn't want to shop there at all. And although there are people like this who will not tolerate bad customer service or tolerate bad experiences in luxury, there are many people who will actually find it more appealing in a way. Many people who will continue to shop at these brands, and it's almost like a toxic relationship. It's like the worse you get treated, the more that you want to go back to it. So I wanted to talk about toxic traits of shopping luxury. And yeah, the first thing is spending lots of money to be offered a bag. You know, in a few luxury stores, it's not only Hermes. The more that you spend at the store, the better treatment you're going to get. You're going to be invited to events. You're going to have the opportunity to get the first look at the new collections, or have the opportunity to buy like the hot items. There are people who are willing to spend tens of thousands of dollars to show their loyalty to the brand, and although that makes them feel annoyed in a way, they continue to do it because they understand that it's a part of shopping luxury, and that's almost like what makes luxury what it is. I think that's pretty interesting that people are willing to like kind of play a game with these boutiques in order to unlock something, where it's very easy to buy a bag at on the pre-love market, or even to buy from a completely different brand like Ferragamo, or you know, a brand that's not as busy or overhyped, or you know, somewhere like Joseph Duclos or Delvaux, or even one of you guys mentioned Lorna bags the other day, and how they can be made to order as well, and you can choose, you know, your special colors, and anyone can order a Lorna bag. You don't need to play a game or anything, and yet Hermes still reigns supreme, and more people want to play this game and get Hermes. And there's something about that, like, I can't get it mentality, that makes it even more appealing. And I think that a lot of us still have that like inner spoiled child in us, or this like thing that if we can't get it, we want it more. And a lot of these top luxury brands are really good at playing that game with the consumer. I mean, this is all for entertainment purposes only, guys. Nothing is stated in truth or facts. Everything is alleged. I think of Chanel, you know, them saying their bags are out of stock, or Hermes, you know, being rejected when you go shop there. It almost makes you want to buy it more because you're like, oh gosh, why is it always out of stock? I used to play a game on the Louis Vuitton website a few years ago where I would like save a few things that I really wanted to get, like, you know, the Nano Speedy, or yeah, it was like the Nano Speedy, the old one, or like the multi-pochette. And I used to play a game, and I would like refresh the page like on my lunch break or throughout the day and just see if it comes back in stock. And then a few times I played this game and I ended up snagging something in there. Things that I think deep down I really wanted to buy because they were hard to get. And, you know, things like the mini pochette limited edition collections they make out that they're really hard to get, super desirable, and that's what makes you want to get them. But you could get a really great bag from, as I said, another brand that could be even better quality and better customer service, and yet we still go to these brands that are hard to get and you have to spend a lot of money at. I think there's also something to be said about feeling intimidated by a store. A lot of these luxury stores look quite grand and overwhelming, and I think that all plays into the part of feeling like you're good enough to go into the store. Sometimes when things seem better than your life, or like out of reach from your life, or like too good for you, it can be more appealing, and it might be something you want to aim towards. Or, you know, you might be thinking, what am I going to wear to like the Chanel store today? Like, oh my gosh, will I look good enough for the store? Like, it's just silly things like this that make you feel like, you know, you really need to be a good enough person to like buy these things. And that's just like a silly thing that we make up in our head, because the thing is, like, anyone with money can buy anything that they want. So it does nothing to do with how you dress or who you are. It is just things, but we put them on such a pedestal where we put our own self-worth in these things, and we feel like, you know, if we can buy these things, if we walk into these stores and get great customer service, we must be a really, you know, we must have made it in life. But it's really silly, guys. Like, you're just going into a store and buying things. It should feel the same as just going into Zara or something like that. It's a store that sells things, and there shouldn't be anything intimidating about it. But sometimes we can get these feelings of like inferiority, and you want to, like, you know, be a part of that world, but it's all just a thing in our head. So there's that toxic element to it as well. Putting up with bad quality. I mean, I've seen so many people talk about the quality of Louis Vuitton, the quality of Chanel. You know, they continue to shop there, and quality for me is like, I accept other toxic things, to be honest. I think everybody is different. I'm not saying I'm a perfect angel here, absolutely not. I still accept some toxic things in luxury because I'm so hypnotized by the product that I need to have it. For example, Hermes bags, like, I'm so hypnotized by them. I love them. So I'm willing to go hunt the pre-love market, or I'm willing to like stalk the Hermes website, which is like not really like something that I have to do. I could just go to another brand and easily buy a bag, or, you know, I don't have to like try and hunt for things. But that thrill of the chase is something that I really enjoy as well, which is like kind of silly in a way when I say it out loud. But quality for me, if it's not good quality, I will not accept it. So the reason why I sold like pretty much all my Chanel and Louis Vuitton bags, because I kept having experiences of bad quality with a lot of their newer bags, and I didn't like that, and it completely turned me off the brand. But I know that's not the same for everybody. I know there's people who complain about the quality but continue to shop at these stores because it is that brand. Like, they love that brand, and they just can't let it go. Like, they can't let go of the fantasy they have of that brand. And also, like, these brands become like a drug for us. Like, we can't give it up, because if I just give up handbags altogether, like I say, I'm done. Well, I will have to like substitute it for something else in my head that I'll become obsessed with. But for me, handbags give me such a thrill, and like, I'm so excited by them that, yeah, I am sometimes got like rose-colored glasses on, right? But really, there are a lot of things about these luxury brands that we shouldn't have to put up with, but we do, because we're just so into that fantasy about them. We so want to be a part of that thrill of the chase and the hype. And that's kind of crazy, like, when you think about it, when you could go to other brands that are easier to get and could be better quality as well. What I find, guys, do you ever like go to a store, like even if it's like Zara or something, and you start like looking at something, and then someone from behind you will like start like looking at what you're looking at, and then then you start like having a crowd around you. They're like, what is she looking at? And then, you know, then you might go, and then they're like looking, and it's really annoying. I find that sometimes when there's like a line or like a hype around something, it draws more people to that crowd. Or like if someone's like really into looking at something, it makes other people want to look. So sometimes I feel like we're a bit like sheep. And some of you guys might disagree with me with this, but sometimes we see a line outside a store, and that makes us feel like, wow, there must be something amazing going on in there. Let's line up as well. But really, it's just silly, and we're just all following each other. We're like so drawn into hype. And that is something about luxury that I think makes it super appealing. There is so much hype around the Birkin. There's so much hype around, getting a Chanel mini. There is so much hype around, going on a journey and getting that mini Kelly. Like, oh my gosh, like, to be worthy of that is just the pinnacle of success in life. And it's just people following other people and seeing what they're doing and wanting to be like them in a way, or wanting to do things that other people are doing, and lining up at a store is not luxurious at all, but people do it because they're like, what is the hype about? I want to go in there too. And sometimes people line up without even a clue of what they're going into the store for. Sure, people line up with intention as well, but I just noticed that people love following hype, and people love following what other people are doing. And when so many people are hyping up these big designer houses, you think, well, they can't be all that bad. But really, there are other like brands that we're neglecting, that are not hyped at all, that no one's lining up for, that we're in a way missing out on because we're following what everyone else is saying or doing. Now, I know I'm blabbing on a lot here, guys, but even like going on a wait list for an item, I think, do we have to wait? Like, I know that luxury is slow. We have to wait for these things. But as I said, you don't have to put yourself through that. You could shop at a completely different store and get your bag straight away. Or even going through a pre-order system where you're giving your money to a brand and you have to wait like a year to get the bag. I don't really like that either, although I understand it. I just feel like I don't like the idea of a brand having my money for like, however so many months, and then in the case of Louis Vuitton, sometimes you put down a pre-order and they can't even guarantee you the product. Like that, I don't like at all. With Hermes, with the special order system, I can understand if they ask for a deposit because that's like, a special order for you. I kind of get that. But when it's like you're pre-ordering like a seasonal piece and you're not guaranteed the item, I don't think that's luxurious at all. I think that's just like desperate for money. Like, just let me know when it's in stock and call me and I'll pay for it then. I just don't like that system at all. And also, I think wanting to keep up with the latest releases, a lot of people get caught up in collecting absolutely everything, and this is something that is completely unattainable. And it doesn't matter how much like Louis Vuitton release, how many colors Hermes release, how many styles, there's always that need to buy more. And I know that these brands, they release so regularly now because people do buy into them regularly, and it wasn't as fashion wasn't as fast 10 years ago, 20 years ago, but it's just, people are so addicted to buying the newest and shiniest thing that it becomes quite toxic in a way, because we don't have time to appreciate what we bought like the last year or even last week. Like, we're constantly going on to the next thing, and especially with brands like Louis Vuitton. I can make a Louis Vuitton video a week about new bags coming out, and although I love that because I've always got a video to make, it's just like it just makes me think, like, if I was still into Louis Vuitton, I would feel a sense of FOMO every week, and that's just insane to me. So that's a toxic element of luxury as well that I think, people can get caught up in. And then finally, feeling like it's never enough. Like, always feeling like, you may have spent $10,000 on a bag, but now you got to get the next bag. You're always aiming to buy the next thing. And these luxury brands really make you feel like sometimes it's never enough, You can't just buy one bag. Then you have to get the full ready-to-wear look. You have to get into the fine jewelry. You have to go on that, journey of, not necessarily at Hermes, but, of living that luxury lifestyle. And then once you've got that luxury wardrobe, maybe you need to buy a car, like a Porsche. Maybe you need to buy a big house. Like, we're constantly feeling like we have to strive for this, like, luxury life. And you have to pay to go to Pilates, you have to have the perfect body, the perfect face, the perfect everything. But a lot of these things, you don't have to actually spend a lot of money to exercise. You don't have to spend a lot of money to look stylish. You don't have to even buy a $1 billion house to have a great home. Like, it's just that we get told that we need to keep aiming for more and more. And it doesn't mean that you're going to have a better life the more that you have, the more luxurious things your life is, because the truth is, like, everyone knows this, the smallest things in life can be the biggest luxuries. Having time to spend with your loved one, having time to relax, realizing things in your life that you never realized before. I mean, art, I think, is priceless. Just looking at someone's art, really, it's like having things move you in a way. These are things that money cannot buy, and they're things that are you know, these companies don't always want you to know true luxuries in life, and I know that sounds really lame. But yeah, you shouldn't always have to feel like you need to keep getting more, because the truth is you might have the most luxurious things in life already. Anyways, thanks for listening to my blabby video today. Do you think that we have a toxic relationship with some of these big luxury brands? Because I could say, I think in a way I do. I've been a little bit sucked into that. I would say definitely I have a bit of a toxic relationship with luxury. However, you know, it's not necessarily hurting me physically. And I am slowing down a little bit lately, and it's still something that I'm going to enjoy probably for the rest of my life, buying luxury bags. But there, you know, I am self-aware as well, and I can see when I'm getting, you know, too sucked into something for the wrong reason. So anyways, just wanted to make a video about that today. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you guys on my next one. Bye!